Welcome, people. It's another edition of Posts and Perspectives. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei. It's TBT Throwback Thursday. And you know what they say, thank God we do not look like what we have been through. Because if you look at your picture from 10 years ago, I bet you will be confused. Who is this person in this picture? All right, of course, I have beautiful people and handsome, beautiful lady and handsome guys on the set. I love the yellow blessing, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Looking so good. And Doctor is being patriotic today. I love the green tie on the white shirt. Let's get right into it this morning. And my very first story is on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's speech at the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week Summit. Yesterday, we took, something is said about the time for Africa being now. And at the summit, in a speech, he talked about the climate change and also energy transition. Let's see what some Nigerians make of his speech. This one is from official MK Clone, who says, our president sabi speak English, but the English is not taking us anywhere. Things are really bad here. I must say, I loved the president's presentation. I mean, I was so proud of that particular presentation. Ibrahim Musa says, anyway, I'm impressed with your presentation. Again, it says you did make a meaningful conversation. I urge you to use the same energy to sustain our economy. Tinubu, Nigerians are hungry. There's hyperinflation in town. Naira does not have value. Do whatever you can to redeem our glory back. And the last one I'll take for the story is from Kule Jimba, who says, this is a speech of a man that knows his onions, involved in policies and implementation of same with full awareness of the global trend, come challenges, while leading his nation into a shared prosperity. Doctor, what do you think about the president's presentation? You know, a lot of people think it's time to walk the talk and not just talk every time.
I think it was spot on. The journey to build a nation is not something that is done in 1 or 2 years. What is critical is that the basics are laid, and then, of course, successive regimes are to build on all of this. I think people should celebrate their own when they do well. The president was on spot yesterday and speaking extempore for over 30 minutes to drive down an argument, of course, which, of course, he has been championing for me, was quite very, very instructive. Speaking to Nigeria energy transition program since 2021, he delved into it and said, we are on course. Yes, you are 2030, but we are 2060. So these are, for me, I think it was a very high point for his administration yesterday in Abu Dhabi. Okay,
thank you so much, Doc. We'll move to our next story this morning. If you do not use a smartphone and you depend on the unstructured supplementary service data, that is USSD, and you might have some disruptions from January 27, and this is because the telcos acting under the Nigerian Communications Commissions will cut off the USSD access of these banks by Monday, January 27, 2024. The banks are Fidelity Bank, First City Monument Bank, Jais Bank PLC, Polaris Bank Limited, Sterling Bank Limited, United Bank for Africa, Unity Bank, Wema Bank, and Zenith Bank PLC. Let's go to take reactions of Nigerians or people generally at this time. This one is from Happiness. I think it's another spelling for happiness. I'm just saying. She says, or he says, they always deduct my money without delivering the message, yet they are owing. NCC dragged them very well, okay? This is your short plug who says, these banks are quick in making these deductions, but remitting to other parties involved becomes an issue. And Candy says, and they keep charging their customers for this USSD thingy. Oh, why not remit to telecoms? They rather use the money to pay Wizkid and Burna Boy to perform for end-of-the-year party like their staff are some nursery school kids. I mean, Stray Bullet had to hit Wizkid and Burna Boy. Those guys are not doing their job. Blessing, what do you think?
Well,
because they charge their customers, why not remit to the telcos?
Yes, I'm wondering why the CBN is waiting before the sledgehammer comes on these banks. Because this is highly criminal. Yeah. You've collected money from customers, but you failed to remit to the telcos.
Yeah.
It's highly criminal. And now the customers will have to suffer because of it. So the CBN by now should sanction have sanctioned the banks already. Find them something that will really make them know they've lost something and they don't repeat that next time. And for the banks, part of the sanction that should come to the banks, it should be that they should compensate customers, because some people depend on USSD for transaction. It's not all the time that you get to use the app, and some persons do not have the internet-enabled phones. So what happens to them? Does that mean that they cannot do transaction? They should be made to compensate customers. Thank
you so much, Blessing. On to the next story this morning, and we are focusing right here in Lagos. Lagos to demolish shanties and illegal market structures at Cele Under-Bridge. What are Lagosians saying about this? Traditional guy says long overdue. Hope this extends to Amuwo or Dauphin LGA. And Sharon Riley says that's a tough decision. I hope it improves safety. The environment needs protection. Have they considered alternatives for the displaced? And Antonia Dark Flame says constitutionally it is the job of the local government chairman to create market spaces for people. What are the LGCs in Lagos State doing? Doctor, in less than 1 minute, if you can react to this, the market structures. I must say the demolition has been ongoing since 2024 into 2025, and a lot of people think this is the right step in the right direction, but some other people think that you have to provide a space for these market people before demolishing their structures.
I think the local government structure in Lagos and the SCDAs should also be up and doing, create local shops where people can actually trade. It's more decent, it's more befitting for a mega status state like Lagos, so that it becomes comparable to bigger states like Pretoria and other places. You go to Casablanca, Marrakesh in Morocco, see clean city, and people do things decently. These are African products, and if they can get to that point, and I think that we can do much more. Lagos need to do more. Build lock-up shops so that we can take all these urchins off the street.
Thank you so much. We want a cleaner and better Lagos, and of course the governments, they are doing all they can to get that. My last story this morning, a breath of fresh air as we hear that Israel and Hamas has reached an agreement for a ceasefire and also to release hostages. Let's see reactions very quickly. One or two I would take now. Cattle says a crucial step, but the real question is whether this pause will lead to a lasting resolution or just another temporary break. And Mazwazi says it had to take 70,000 deaths. What changed? And PJ says, I'm sure they only agreed because they feared extinction once Trump gets into office. I guess they may be the only thing, that may be the only thing that came from his election. And someone else giving a thumbs up to see President Biden. It says, excellent news. Thank you, President Biden. And that's coming from CJCO's mom. That's the show this morning. Thank you for being a part of it. We'll make a return for the last edition of the show for this week. Ensure not to miss it. Of course, we go for this break. When we return, TC Barra is standing by to take you through the ever-bubbling world of sports. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei. Catch you tomorrow.